I got two dear friends, Chris Flores, Jake Bennett here in the crowd just watching. It's always great to see different connections and to recognize people that are out there grinding. But I'm going to warn you that the topic we're going to cover today is very heavy. That's why I put in the comments, viewer discretion advised. I mentioned last week at the Wednesday briefing that Ghost was able to interrupt two different cases involving some very special details. One of the cases that was from Mount Morris, I said had an entanglement, had another spinoff, and I'm going to tell you about that today. Before I do that, I also want to give you an update on our homicide that we had in Atlas Township, and then we're going to finish with why we're here in front of the Capitol Theater here in downtown Flint. But the homicide, which took place sometime between the hours of 10 p.m. on Saturday night and 5 a.m. Sunday morning, involved Jesse James Byers. He went to a location in Atlas Township, and sometime in that evening, he was murdered. And the detectives that were dispatched in the Michigan State Police Crime Lab worked it all day, and we have continued to work it. And cases, as you may guess, watching TV right now, are not solved within 60 minutes. They take time. There's not just physical evidence, but there's technological evidence. And so we've been working all these angles to come closer to the person and or persons responsible for the murder of Jesse James Byers. Now, this is where you come in, because our people, you are very good at picking up different things that could help us solve this case. And that's why I continue to push you to 1-800-422-JAIL. That's Crime Stoppers. 1-800-422-JAIL. If you want to leave an anonymous tip, something that you see, something that you thought of, we follow up on those tips. Also, you could text. You go P3 tips on your cell phone. You can go to the website, or you can call me direct at the jail, 810-257-3422, and leave a tip. But I'm going to tell you, we're getting closer to solving this case. And we know that this is a murder that was not done alone. We know people have details. So I would encourage you to do the right thing. And maybe you're concerned, that's why we give you that anonymous platform to come forth. Because every day that we get closer and we have cooperation, it makes it easier for those people. So I'm going to give you more details as we get them, but just know that technically and technologically there's a process, and we're working through that process. So that's the update on the murder. The second thing I'm going to talk to you about is what's in the headlines. And that is, can you imagine a 7-year-old being used as currency? Meaning that this young life was being exploited by somebody very close so that person could have sex with another human being. Now, I've seen a lot, and Ghost is out there, and Ghost sees a lot. And if you're tuning in for the very first time, Ghost is our human trafficking enforcement concept team, started over 4 years ago. Genesee Human Oppression Strike Team. And we work with counties all over the state because human trafficking and sexual predators, they are not confined into one jurisdiction, which plays a role into this case. Well, I mentioned that we worked because of the tip that we got from a Genesee nurse on the 2nd of July that a patient came in for a medical condition, and during that process divulged that they were vulnerable. And it allowed the process to kick in where that nurse contacted Ghost. And as I said, we mentioned it last week, we did a search warrant in Mount Morris, and it led us to a particular suspect. That guy. This is the ringleader, Daniel Flowers, 36 years old. He was the one at the apartment that had two other people that's in this apartment. One was the victim that we talked about last week, a 21-year-old special needs female. The other person in that apartment was this girl, Michelle Irwin, 31-year-old, also from Mount Morris. The three of them lived together. Now, the special needs female met these two on a social media app called Meet Me. When they met up, that's what we talked about last week, where they were facilitating people to come have sex with the special needs individual. But what was key to this case is the property that we recovered from Flowers, which is right at my feet. You'll see that the backpack that he had was stuffed full of miscellaneous, just things that he used on a daily basis, provocative things, disturbing things. But one thing caught our eye. This package of Sour Patch Kids candy in a backpack full of evidence that would cause any investigator, especially ghost investigators, to take a closer look as to why. Let me tell you why. Because it's not uncommon that a predator will use candies like Hatchimals, coloring books, plush toys, in this case from Frozen, and candy. Same candy that was found inside his backpack was also found on a phone. That guy's phone. Jerome Shane, 28-year-old male from Washington Township, Michigan, Macomb County. What we found when we took Flowers' phone was he was in communication with Shane. Now follow me on this. Shane's got a 7-year-old daughter who he took photos of, graphic photos of his own daughter, sent him to Flowers in order to have sex with his girlfriend, Michelle Irwin. So we were able to take that and do an undercover operation, and we arrested Jerome Shane on the 5th of July. As he came to the apartment from Macomb County to go to the apartment of Flowers and Irwin and facilitate the exploitation of a 7-year-old. So the photos that we got off Flowers' phone originated on the phone of the father. I want you to know that because we work so hand in hand with David Layton, the prosecutor, his office charged Daniel Flowers with 4 felonies, a 15, a 10, and a 7, and a 4-year. Child sexually abusive material distribution, using computer to commit a crime, child sexual abuse, possession, distribution, 4 counts. He's held in the Genesee County Jail on a $100,000 cash bond. His girlfriend, Michelle Irwin, was charged with 5 felonies. Again, you might as well say child porn, 3 counts, distribution, manufacturing, possession, using a computer to commit a crime, and accosting a child for immoral purposes. This guy, who is the father of the 7-year-old, was charged with 6 felonies, a 25-year, a 15, a 10, a 7, and 2 4s, child pornography, aggravated, distribution, possession, using a computer to commit a crime, accosting a child for immoral purposes. He's held in the Genesee County Jail on a $50,000 cash bond. Why do I say all that? I say it because the reason we work with other agencies around the state is because this is happening in everybody's backyard. It's happening right here. When you foil the plot where we stopped it before this 7-year-old was actually physically exploited, just as bad she was photographed by her own father. In the worst situation, Ghost was there to help. And it was because of everybody and because of everything we're doing that we protect people that can't protect themselves. And the fact that even people at the county board level that fund the Ghost position, this is what allows us to do what we do. But Ghost and human trafficking enforcement is not just enforcement. It's education, awareness, enforcement, and aftercare. Aftercare are the facilities that people go to when they are caught up and rescued from human trafficking. But what about the first two? Maybe people watching right now, they say, Chris, I can't enforce. You know, I'm a single mom. I'm a dad. I don't even have kids, but I want to get involved. Well, then you have a duty to be part of the education and awareness, which is why I'm here in front of the Capitol Theater in downtown Flint, an icon in the city of Flint. You see, something really special is going to happen on the 24th of August. 24th of August, 2021, right here at 7 o'clock. Let me tell you. In the last year, I've worked with an American producer and director named Nick Nanton. And I have included his link in this Facebook message so you can look him up yourself. He's won 20 Emmys with all that he's done. And when he came last year and said, Sheriff, Ghost has caught my eye. I've seen what you have been doing. I'm watching the briefings. I'm listening to the media. I am an American director-producer, and I want to produce a documentary like this country's never seen when it comes to human trafficking. And Nick Nanton is good to his word. We started working. He came up here, brought his crew. He flew people in from California, from Italy. He's from Florida. And they spent days with Ghosts and then went around the country to capture other interviews, police interviews, undercover interviews, and operations. The opening scene of a film that's being premiered privately for this community before anybody in the world sees it takes place at the Capitol Theater, August 24th, 2021. And the title is It's Happening Right Here. The opening scene, I promise you, is going to give you chills because the opening scene is an undercover operation with Ghost members. So good that when I watched it, and I was there, I was excited. It's a 75-minute documentary. We are inviting everybody that has a hand in all those that I talked to you about, including the public. Kim Gray is going to be here. You might remember Kim Gray. She was a funder and a proponent of The Ring of Silence, which is a theatrical version of what you're going to see live here August 24th at the Capitol Theater with our documentary, sponsored by Ghost. But I promise you this, it's going to be a spectacular event. We are going to shut the street down thanks to Chris and Ella from Capitol. We are going to have a vehicle here that you'll be able to take pictures and photos and videos from. You're going to think you're at the Oscars. This whole thing's going to be lit up. We're bringing so many beautiful things here to Flint. 7 o'clock is a perfect time for the Capitol lights to be on, and we are going to show this film. You will see members of Ghost. This production will leave you speechless. Here's how you can be a part of. We've got 425 tickets for our public. So I have worked with the Capitol. They have been so good. You can actually call the Capitol Theater, 810-237-7333, 810-237-7333 right now. And you can reserve 2 tickets per person. Use good discretion. Because if you take tickets and don't show, you could be taking the seats of somebody that could save a life. So when you call, I want you to be committed. I want you to be so committed that you're going to be here. And those 2 tickets you get will be used to good value. Well, you say, Chris, that's a big theater. How come you're only doing a little over 400? Because this message is also going out to our entire legislature, all of our state representatives, people in the executive branch, the judicial branch. We're inviting partners like Whaley and Voices for Children, all the agencies that we've done Ghost operations in. We're giving them tickets to bring people from their jurisdictions to see it. Sometimes the documentary is what you need to tell the story. And that's what we're doing. We have special gifts that are going to be given that are so impactful that when you leave, you'll see why Oliver Thomas Bags has been a corporate sponsor for this event and what you're going to get. And the message, you're going to leave shell-shocked. You're going to leave challenged to do your part wherever you may go. See, this theater seats 1,550 people. And we're going to fill it. And we're going to show this documentary so it can carry on what education awareness looks like. So I know I've covered a lot. We are going to find the murder of Jesse James Byers. We have held accountable the 3 people who traded a 7-year-old child for sex. Use this currency. We're going to hold them accountable. We're going to continue to protect the vulnerable. And on August 24th, if you want to see something that's going to rock your world, you sign up, grab your 2 tickets, because when they're gone, they're gone. And you're going to see it's happening right here at the Capitol Theater. Thank you, everybody. I appreciate you. Be safe. See you next week.